Hey guys, what's up? It's Phoebe from Alternative Twist Radio. Today we have a new artist spotlight featuring Fire by Night. We have Christopher Cleland, aka Skippy, and Kai Vander Maten, and also we're missing Faith Powell, but she is part of the band. Welcome, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us. It's
Yeah,
great.
thank you so much.
Yes, I'm so happy that you guys can join us. And you guys are calling in from different states, right? Tell me about that. How does that work as a band?
It's a process, that's for sure. It was something that we were really hesitant about at the beginning. We weren't sure how it was going to work out and everything, but with modern technology, it somehow pulled through. I live in Seattle. I moved up here in November, and Skip lives in San Diego, and then Faith is in Phoenix, where we began. So it's been a process for sure.
Yeah, and writing has very much changed for us. Where we used to be able to sit in the same room and write music together. Now, someone comes up with an idea. Usually it's Kai or myself, but Faith has come up with some lyrics and stuff for us as well. But we each have our own recording setups in our home studios, home offices, whatever. And we'll record something and say, hey, I came up with this idea. It's this BPM. See what you can do with it, and then we import it into our stuff and we record over it, and that's how we've been demoing lately. And yeah,
that's demoing. And then when we need to do shows and stuff, luckily our brilliant producer Jose has put together some backing tracks for synth and bass, since we don't have a bass player currently and everything, so it's easy to rehearse with that. So when we get together, we really just need a couple hours to get back in the groove, and then we're ready to go.
Nice. So it's almost like you guys didn't really leave, one location. You guys are all in sync together, still able to practice really well. I like that. That's cool. I've heard a lot of our artists, since COVID, obviously, they've all had to evolve and perform remotely, do everything remotely. And I really like that evolution. If we got one thing positive out of all this freaking craziness the last few years, I think it would be that working together cohesively remotely, so having to learn, having to evolve with the times.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
So how did your band get started? You guys started in Phoenix, and then what happened from there?
It started, actually, Chris and I, if we're going back to the beginning of everything, Chris and I met through a worship band. Yep. And we were going to do this thing, and the worship leader wanted to put a band together, and we both wanted to be in a band, so we met. And I'm not a drummer by any means, but I definitely I was the first one to get there. There was a drum set on stage, and I was like, screw it, why not? And so I kind of went up there and just started really horribly drumming. And Skip walks in, and I knew he heard how bad it was, and I just went, hi, I'm the drummer.
I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, he quickly found out that that was not the case. But, we had fun, and then we kind of, after jamming that night, we were like, hey, you're a really good musician. I'd like to hang out, and I'd like to work on music with you. And so Skip and I kind of went doing this on and off again musician friendship thing for a couple of years there. Yeah. I would say
probably about a year, I'd say.
About a year? Yeah.
Before we actually started a band.
I was going to ASU at the time, and Skip was like, hey, I miss making music with you. Let's get together and make music again. I was like, sure, why not? Come to the practice rooms at ASU. And so there was a period there where we were just Skip would come in his business attire, carrying an amp and a guitar over his back. And I, looked like I've been at school all day. And we just shove all of our gear into a tiny little practice room. And we just started writing music. And then, Skip, you can talk about, how kind of it formed from there. But
Yeah, I mean, so it was really funny because we were not of the same genre. We were not cut from the same branch at all.
No.
Like, she was very, Kai was very folksy, I was very rock. And, so we like kind of played music together. We kind of just tried to push our influences on each other, really, is more of what I would say it was. We even
Skip
played.
one.
We even played a gig where, and this is, we have some pretty
No.
awful recordings, but we played this one gig where we had a looper pedal, because Kai was really into looper pedal stuff and is actually really good at it. But so we had this looper pedal and we had one guitar. And for the gig, like, she would lay down something and then pass the guitar to me, and I would lay down something else and then pass it back to her, and we just take turns like adding layers to this loop until it started getting out of hand, and then we would just stop. And that was like the whole gig, and we got paid to do this. Like,
They paid us in like a stupid amount of money to do that, and then they invited us back the next year. We were like, okay.
And by that time,
That sounds so fun.
It was,
Oh, yeah.
and so yeah. Anyways, that is where it all began. We actually started a band called As For Me in 2018. Actually, about 4 years ago this week, I think is what it was. And we started under the name As For Me. And we've had 5 lineup changes since then, and 1 band name change. So we went from As For Me to Fire by Night, and it's been a very long journey, but ultimately, like, Kaya and I talked about it, especially as I was getting ready to move to San Diego, because that was the first move that was happening in the band, and then after that, Kai decided to move to Seattle. But when that happened, I was like, Kai, what do we do if, like, the band doesn't work out from here? And they were like, well, I mean, we're still gonna make music together. Like, we can't not make music together. And I was like, you're right. So, true to form, we just keep writing music and sending it to each other, and then taking it from there and, seeing what comes out. But yeah.
So do you want to explain the writing process of what each band member goes through? So the Skip do like one layer of the writing and then you go from there. How does that work? Because you guys are all in different states.
So the way it's been happening lately is because we are actually working on a couple different recording projects simultaneously right now. We've got a 3 EP series that we want to do, but it's like, to do it, it's too expensive for where we are at financially right now. So we have the storyline for that EP series that, we're kind of putting on hold, rewinding a little bit and going to writing a separate EP at the moment. And so basically, either Kai writes some lyrics and a little bit of music or like a chord progression, or I'll write lyrics and usually like the guitar parts that end up in the song. And then if it's Kai that starts with the lyrics and the chord progression, they send them to me and I lay them down in, my rockified version. If I'm the one that starts with it, I, try to record the best that I possibly can for the vocals, and then I lay down the guitar parts. But then from there, it goes to Kai and they record the vocals over it. And then from there, we send it to Faith and she records the drums over it. And then we look at it and we say, okay, this part needs to change a little bit. This, takes away from the feeling that we're going for and all that stuff. And we start, working through what the demo sounds like and what we want it to sound like. And then it kind of starts over again with me reworking the guitars and then sending it to Kai to record the vocals, and then to Faith to do the drums. And yeah.
That was pretty accurate. Wow, you really got it all out there.
My mind is a process.
It sounds really tedious, and I'm sure it takes a while too, because everyone has different schedules, but the important thing is that you guys keep going with it and you keep the mission that you guys want to express to your fans too.
Yeah, and so we actually, to kind of help with some of that, we do have a writing retreat that we're planning on going on in July, where we will all be going to a cabin in the woods in Phoenix. and we will be doing nothing but writing for 3 days straight. That way we get to be together. But the rest of the year, yeah, it's very tedious.
Yeah.
What is the mission you guys would like to express to your fans on when they hear your music and why you make your music?
So we've come up with this mantra fairly recently. I mean, probably within the last, I don't know, 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
And it's, you are valuable, you are important, you are loved.
It's something to that tune. I just started, whenever I made posts on Instagram, I just kind of started putting at the end of it, like, remember you are valued and you are loved, you know? And I think that that's kind of the thing that we want people to understand with our music. Like, yes, each of our songs, like, represents a different thing, but in the end, like, what we want from people is to feel seen, heard, and understood. Whatever we portray in music, I want it to be like a, hey, let's feel this thing together, you know? So, like, for example, our song Enemy is a pretty angry song, and it's angry against the system and everything. And I would say that that's not very like us. However, it is a song that's like, let's come together to overcome these bad things, you know? And you can kind of, yeah. So I think the point of writing music for both Skip and I, and like Skip, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the whole point of it is to create a community of people who are accepted just as they are, loved just as they are, and people, you know, can feel things and have a safe place to like just exist with other people, you know?
No, yeah,
I think
you got that exactly right. I mean, I think, so another song that we've released that speaks to that is Obsessions, and that was actually written by our former keyboardist. Her name is Jasmine, but she also has a band called Fawn Flora, which she has been pursuing really intensely lately and just absolutely killing it. Played at NAMM and everything.
Yeah.
But really, really brilliant song about anxiety and depression, and you know, the way that you feel going through that. And I think, you know, so this, you are valuable, you are loved, that's something that we've always believed, but I think it's only recently that has kind of become what we've only just recently realized that's why we do music, you know. Obsessions is, I think, absolutely brilliantly written, and it was brilliantly produced by Jose, our producer, and you know, just done so well. But again, that's, anxiety and depression are very difficult things to go through, and no one should ever have to go through them alone, if at all, you know. And but then, you know, kind of moving after we released Obsessions, moving forward, you know, releasing Menagerie, that one, you know, it's, I guess it's kind of difficult to see how there is the connection, because it's this anti-corporate, you know, screw you, like, stop making me your plaything sort of a thing.
Yeah.
But the point of writing that and releasing that was, that is something that people go through. That's actually, it's a song that I wrote a few years ago. Back when I was working at this job that I just hated, I felt like I was a corporate plaything. And so anyways, that's something that people go through. And we want them to know, like, if that's who you are, come as you are, come join us in our community, in our family, feel that, and let's work through it together. And so we realized, you know, if there is one theme among all the songs that we write, that's it. It's the, you know, we're here to be with each other and for each other as community.
I can really relate to that message. You know, a lot of our artists lately have all been writing songs about mental health and fighting the stigma against mental health. And I'm 100% on top of that, because the background that I came from, I was in mental health facility workplace. So it was very difficult, but at the same time, it was very rewarding. And we all were working together as a family, trying to heal each other in a way, or just share our own personal experiences to let people know, you know what, yeah, I went through this crappy, you know, situation years ago. And you find out hey, other people went through that too, and you can heal together. You find out that you're not alone, and that in fact you are accepted for who you are, even though you look a certain way. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And I 100% agree with that mission. And about the corporate thing, I can relate too. Maybe that's just one side that you have to keep, a little box, and then outside the box, once you get home, you're like, oh my God, that was so, this, but you get to release it, and that's a good thing too.
Exactly.
So I can relate to that.
I'm still working a corporate job. I just like it a little bit more than I liked my last corporate job,
Right.
But it's what we have to do the thing that we love to do, and this is what we love to do,
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a good outlet. Making music, performing music, it's a wonderful outlet, and that's what I've heard a lot too with bands and making music, obviously. And you feel the passion. You can, when I was watching your video, I was listening to your music. You really, you could feel the passion within you guys, and that was coming out in your music. And the fans like that because that makes you guys relatable.
Well, thank you. And we appreciate it. It's kind of funny though, because I watch it, and something else I notice is we do smile quite a bit in the video, and that's also just who we are. Like, we're not angry, we're just fed up, but we're happy, but we're fed up.
Yeah, and I think you see that through the writing, especially in some of the songs that we're going to be releasing soon. I think we dive a little bit more into the mental health thing. We have a few songs that are about like PTSD and anxiety and depression and all that fun stuff. But at the same time, it's a place of healing, and it's not a place that just like you get left in this pit of whatever, and even through all of the bad things, we're always going to be smiling, we're always going to be joking around with each other. We kind of want to bring that same kind of energy to our music and to our performances as well.
So while we're on the topic of your music video, why don't we watch your music video that you guys sent over?
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
That was a great video, you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
This is Kai.
And this is Skip.
From Fire by Night, and you're listening to Alternative Twist Radio. And you can find us on all social media platforms at Fire by Night Official. We have firebynight.com, and you can find us on Spotify at Fire by Night.
Thanks for watching, guys. Please share, like, and subscribe to our channel, and find us on all of our social media, links in our bio. Thanks.